All right, this is the fraction and decimal homework. First one says, write this decimal in words. So if I look at that decimal, I see 59, and then I have to say, well, what place value does that go out to? Well, this is the tenths and the hundredths. So I would say 59 hundredths. Okay, and you got to make sure it ends with a THS. Okay, so now if you look at the second one and write that in words, this one's got a whole number in front. So remember, you're going to say that as 2, and I'll let you guys finish writing that out. So you're going to say 68, and then you have to decide what place value that is and finish that. All right, the next one says, what is 19/20 as a decimal? So to turn that into a decimal, you're going to take the top number, 19, and it says divide it by 20. Well, 20 won't go into 19, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. And now I'm looking at the number 190. This decimal is going to come straight up. So 20 times what's going to get me close to 190? So I'm going to try some different numbers. Well, 20 times 6 would be 120. 20 times 7, 140. 20 times 8, 160. 20 times 9 is probably going to be my closest because that will be 180. And we're going to go 3 spots past the decimal if we need to. So 20 goes into 100 5 times. So that's going to be 0.95. So you're going to do the same one for the same thing over here. You're going to do 13 divided by 25. So 25 is not going to go into 13, so you're going to have to add a decimal and a 0. And I'm going to leave that one for you guys to divide out. So flip it to the back. It says Kim tried to write 197 over 250 as a decimal without doing long division. She just turned that numerator into 0.197, which is incorrect. So what is the correct equivalent decimal? So if we needed to do that the correct way, we would need to do long division. We would take 197 and divide it by 250. So that's not going to go into that, so I'm going to need to add a 0. And then you're going to need to try some different numbers to find out how many times 250 will go into 1,970. So I might start with, let's start with 7. 7 times 0, 7 times 5, 35, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I get 1,750. Let's see if we can get closer. So I'll do 250 times 8. 8 times 0, 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, up. So that actually takes me too high. So I'm going to use 7. And then I'm going to subtract the 1,750. I'm going to add another 0 and bring that down. All right, so now I have, how many times does 250 go into 2,200? Well, I know 8 times would get me at 2,000. So now I'm going to try 250 times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That goes over, so I'm going to use an 8, and that's 2,000. I'm going to bring one more 0 down, and I know that it'll go in evenly 8 times. So you're going to get 0.788. Okay, so for the next one, it says a package of chicken weighs 2/3 kilogram. What is the decimal equivalent to that weight of that chicken? Well, to turn a fraction into a decimal, again, you're going to have to do 2 divided by 3. Well, 3 is not going to go into 2, so I'm going to have to add a decimal and a 0. And then I'm going to have to say, how many times does 3 go into 20? It's going to go 6 times. Subtract, I get 2. Again, it's going to go 6 times. Oop, that should be 18. Go one more spot out. So this is going to be 0.6 repeating. And then they say, well, if the chicken is $6.30 per kilogram, then what is the price of the package? Well, it's 0.666 repeating kilograms. So you're going to need to take that value and multiply it by $6.30 to get the price, because for each kilogram, it's $6.30. So we're going to set that up as 6.30, and we can multiply by, since our decimal came out repeating, let's do 0.66. So multiply that out to get your answer. All right, let's go down to the bottom left. It says compare these fractions using less than, greater than, or equal to. Well, in order to do that, you have to actually turn those into a decimal and compare their values. We did 2 divided by 3 up on the top, and we got 0.6 repeating. So now you need to do the same thing here. What is 3/5 as a decimal? So do that division, 3 divided by 5. So 5 won't go into 3, but 5 will go into 36 times. So this is actually 0.666 repeating. This one is just 0.6 because that goes in evenly with no remainder. So which one of those, if I could put a 0 after that, so which one is greater, 66 cents or 60 cents? So you guys decide and put your inequality, less than, greater than, or equal to, in the box. All right, and for the last part, you're going to do the same thing. It says order these fractions from least to greatest. You're going to need to turn each one of these into a decimal. 1/2, you guys should probably all know, that's 0.5. Go through, turn them all into a decimal, and then you're going to put them in order. This one's going to be the least. This one's going to be the greatest.